Well, good day to you, family. Good day to you. Welcome back to the channel. It's Coach Jay coming at you on this rainy day, family. I love when it rains because that seed that I've been planting in the ground, meaning investing, now when that water hits it and then the sun will come out this afternoon, that photosynthesis, that it causes things to grow. So that's what we like. We like to go to bed at night and then open up our thing is increased by $3,000 overnight. So when you earn money while you sleep, just like when this rain hits this grass right now it causes it to grow. And I gotta cut it more, and I don't mind cutting it because I get my little exercise in and whatnot. But and I like the lines. I like my lines to be different ways. Like the stadiums, the baseball stadiums and all that. How the lines be all pretty and diagonal and crisscross and all of that. I like to do that, and I learned that when I was a little kid. I used to want to do my parents' yard after I went to our baseball stadium, and I learned and I looked out there and I said, "Oh, I want to get my grass like that." They had the crisscross going. I said, "Man, I got to do it." And that's how I started. And I wanted to cut the grass. They let me too. They didn't mind because we had a kind of big yard when I was growing up. So I have a pretty decent sized yard, and so I like to see the lines and the different designs that I can put in there. That I'm trying to design our financial plan for our future. Not only for the long term, but even for the immediate future. And that's why I said we can come in, and this young lady had a 38-year window to invest, but I'm gonna tell you some mindset shift. If she can get into it now, $583.33 a month, that she's gonna invest systematically every month for the next 38 years, $2.5 million, 10% compound growth we're assuming on that money. Now she's got a little brother, and I said, hey, let's get your brother involved. He's 18 years old. Let's go ahead and make sure that we just put that all into a Roth IRA. And I was telling the mom, should I say, and I said, if we can do that for the next, until he's 60 years old, he's gonna have $3.7 million, all tax-free money that he can live on for the rest of his life. And that money will most likely never run out if we use a 4% rule of thumb. But if we use a 5% rule of thumb, man, he could pull out probably about $130,000, $140,000 a year in tax-free money and just live. He's still young enough to do all those things he want to do. All right. So anyway, family, it's just a matter of coming up with a game plan. Go to investor.gov and do your calculation on the numbers. And then we're going to always look at index funds because they have the lower fees. And they have been really doing good. And it's been an average between 11 and 12% for the growth on that money. And you can just factor that in. I just use 10%, but I'm gonna tell you the last 5 years I've been watching it. Man, I've been getting up to 41% some years on my money, on the return on my money. And that average actually grows up past 10%, but I just use 10 to be conservative. Family, have a great day.